Hello, my name's Stephen Herwire. I'm the owner of Herwire Financial Plans with Direction. Today, we're going to talk about important questions you may not be asking, and I can help you get the answer. They're very important questions. A few important disclosures before we start out. Finance, like medicine, is different for every individual situation. There's certain things that are generally correct for everyone, like spend less than you earn, save as much as you can, etc. Always consult a trusted advisor who specializes in the area you're inquiring about and knows your situation. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical, not a guarantee of future results. All data is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no representation is made as to its completeness or accuracy. Today, I'm going to start talking about a book I read a long time ago when I was in college. It's called A Spell for Chameleon. It was written by PIERS in 1977. I'm going to focus on one of the supporting characters. The good magician Humphrey. He was the magician of information. If you were determined enough to get to him, because he would put obstacles in your way, he would answer your question. But his fee for answering that question is you'd have to work for him for a year. Fortunately, I don't charge you a year's pay in most cases for the advice I give. But one of the lessons I learned from this book is that everyone's time is valuable. Not having the advice I provide, which likely will cost far less than a year's salary, however, may cause a situation where you might work for your employer for an extra year or more. If you get my advice in time, you might avoid this. No guarantees. Of course, you also might have a job that you love and you want to keep working well past retirement. I don't know, but at least this gives you the option. There's basically 3 different stages you go through once work life begins. You got your working years, which start after you get out of school and go till sometime in your late 50s, early 60s. Then there's the retirement period, which goes from when you retire until you go into post-retirement, also known as you're dead and gone. I call it the legacy period. So I offer 3 different plans that address each of these stages. The one for the working years is called the Silver Plan. The Gold Plan is for the people at the tail end of their working years, and they're getting ready for retirement and want to make sure that when they set sail on the USS Retirement, they've got all their ducks in a row. And then there's the Platinum Plan. This is primarily for folks with really complex situations. The average person's not going to need the Platinum Plan. Let's talk a little bit about the Silver Plan. Imagine you won an all expense paid trip to Disneyland. Let's imagine you live in upstate New York like I do right now. But one of your family members is terrified of flying. There's just no chance you're going to get them on an airplane. So you've got to do that driving to Disneyland. So you load the car up, you punch Disney in the GPS, it starts calculating, and then you're on your way. You spend a couple of nights in hotels along the way, and early one morning you're on your way out of the hotel, and about an hour later you see a sign that says, "Welcome to Florida." Of course, then you realize, wait a minute, Disneyland is in Anaheim, California. Disney World is in Florida. The GPS has taken you to the wrong place, and now you're going to be a few extra days late getting into Disney. This is what the Silver Plan addresses. It makes sure, it doesn't make sure, it increases your chances that instead of driving into Florida, you're headed through Nebraska at the time that you want, figuratively speaking. It helps you answer that question. Am I saving enough so that I can retire in a manner and time of my choosing? The later you have that answer, the more it's going to cost out of your spendable money. The earlier you have that answer, the less of your spendable money is needed. The gold plan. This answers the question, when can I retire in a manner of my choosing and decrease my chances of running out of money before I run out of life? It provides mitigation strategies to address the more than 24 things that can mess up your retirement. The Social Security strategy alone could be worth the price, as the difference between a good choice and a bad choice for a couple can be potentially tens of thousands, perhaps over $100,000 difference. A platinum plan. Now, this is the one that most people don't need. If you've got an IRA and a life insurance policy in a house, probably the beneficiary designations and your will take care of it. Consult a lawyer for that, because I'm not a lawyer. I don't give tax or legal advice, but I do work with lawyers and attorneys. And this is where this plan comes in. I'll give you an apocryphal example. John Doe Sr., he built the widget factory in town from the ground up. He is very well off. John Jr., after he got out of school, went to work in the factory and has been there ever since. Jennifer, John's daughter, she has a thriving dental practice. And his youngest son, Bob, he's a layabout. Now, for those who don't know what a layabout is, it's somebody that lays about and doesn't do much. Now, if John Sr. just put in his legal documents, I want to leave a third of the factory to each of my kids, he knows that'll cause some strife, or that it's likely to cause strife. So what I do is I help him develop a plan in concert with his tax and legal advisors that make sure Bob isn't left out, but by the same time, it does not rub John and Jennifer the wrong way. And I'm also like the head coach. I run around and talk to the lawyers, I talk to the CPAs, I talk to the investment advisors if I'm not the investment advisor, to make sure everything's set up the way John Sr. wants to do it. There's a base price for this, and depending on the complexity of the case, there are likely to be additional charges. All my prices can be found on my website, because I don't know when this video is going to be seen, so the prices could have gone up by then. But trust me, it is worth it. Need more information? Go to my website, herwirefinancial.com. And right here, you can see I just clipped the top part of my website. You can schedule an appointment. I do Zoom, I do phone calls, I do in-persons. And this is how you can schedule it. And here's my other information. By the way, I am licensed and registered in several states. If I'm not registered in your state and there's sufficient interest, I can get registered there pretty easily. Please contact me if you have questions. Thanks and have a good day.